Welcome to the Shuriken Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5. I am your host, Jan. It's true, I am. I was going to start off today with a peeve, as usual, but it's not technically a traffic peeve, but it's a vehicle peeve. I live in a duplex, okay? And my neighbors, a couple of duplexes down, a duplex down, they like their vehicles, right? There's three of vehicles for that particular side of the duplex, and they're all really big. And her son has the worst one. Okay, it's like a big four-wheel drive pickup that's just noisy. Like when he starts it in the morning, the whole neighborhood knows it's running. Okay, and worst of all, this douchebag, and I'm fucking saying that being nice. This fucking douchebag has like a trucker's air horn in his vehicle, which is illegal in California, by the way. And he likes to blast that. He'll get to the very end of the road and blast it, and it sounds like he's in my driveway. I'm like, bro, and everyone in the neighborhood hates it because they've all told me, because I'm the only one that'll go tell him to fuck himself. So they all come to me and go, God, that's annoying. And I'm like, it is annoying. And this is the same kid that I had to go to them about because he was throwing M80s in front of my house. Yeah, I torched him because I have a camera and it just followed him right back into the house. So I went over and just basically went, I see that again, I'm going to the fucking cops. They're like, oh, no, we'll handle it. Okay. Okay. He never did it again. I'll give him that. But that doesn't mean that he's not still being a douche. Chupa wants to go play with Bueller, and Bueller is telling him to go screw himself. So I don't think Chupa's going to win that battle. Yeah, so he has a really annoying horn and he likes to use it a lot. And they like to I don't have a problem with people that like washing their cars and stuff, but they do it obsessively, okay? And there's 3 of them. So they're constantly washing the vehicles, right? So I like on Saturday morning, I like to get up at like 8 o'clock after they've washed their vehicle, and I like to do my yard work. And I like to use my blower. So yeah, I pretty much give them another reason, and they've learned now. They wait till after 8 o'clock to see if I'm gonna come up and blow their fucking truck dirty again or not. But that's what you get. He's the first one, the father, he's the first one out there that has his goddamn blower going at 7 in the goddamn morning on a Sunday. Yeah, I just want to bury my foot in his ass, but I have to remember you can't assault people anymore. Now you go to jail for it. That's fine. That's fine. I can resist. I can resist. I can dream. I'll just go play some Call of Duty. I'll get it out of my system. Oh man. Yeah, they're not the best neighbors. As a matter of fact, they called the landlords to complain about the neighbors that are directly on the other side of my fence, who I actually like. They have an autistic son, so he's really loud and they don't like him. So they constantly complain, I guess, and the landlord finally came to my house and asked me what the fuck's going on over there. And I told them they're assholes. That's what's going on. And they're like, oh, okay. And never heard a thing about it again. I mean, it was just petty shit. Like the guy got a new car and his car alarm kept going off. And it was only like the first day. Okay. It went off like 3, 4 fucking times. No big deal. And he came out and turned it off right away. They complained about that. That's how petty. That's how petty. Someone fucking stole one of their aloe vera plants and they blamed them. I'm like, I looked at the camera. It wasn't them. It was someone that came out of the bushes over there. It wasn't them. Oh, it had to be them. No, it wasn't them. It's just one of those. That's how this neighborhood is. It's not the best neighborhood. Someday we'll get out of this. But for now, it'll have to fucking down. I think I was pulling in today from work and my neighbor was actually out there trying to weed eat our little mutual shared space of, well, it's not grass, it's just weeds. Our mutual space of weeds. And he had gotten all his down. And I pulled in and I was like, ah, crap. Because sometimes he does mine too. And I was like, ah, crap. I pulled in at the wrong time. I either pulled in and caught him when he was finishing, or I pulled in and he's not going to do my side. I was like, dang it. So I get out and he's like got that puzzled look on his face and I'm going, what's going on? He's like, oh, my weed whacker. He goes, I put how people are putting like the metal blades on instead to get the thicker stuff. Well, I mean, your motor may not be able to handle that. Okay. His motor couldn't handle it. He said he used it for a little bit and it just fried his fucking motor. I was like, oh shit. So he's standing there looking and I go, well, I mean, you can use my weed whacker. It's not the greatest. I've had it for like 10 years. I got it for like, $50 at freaking Home Depot 10 years ago. I go, "You're welcome to use it." So he takes it outside, and he has a little bit of trouble getting the string out and stuff. But once he got it where it worked for him, he fucking plowed that thing with my old beat up weed whacker. It was funny. He returned it, and he did my side too. And then he swept. Him and his wife swept and cleaned up. I like, can't complain about that shit. I'm like, hey, anytime you want to borrow it, she gives it back to me. And my broken handle, he took the handle off his and put it on mine so that I had a handle again. And then he cleaned it and greased it, oiled it down for me. I was like, damn, you take way better care of my shit than I do. You're welcome to use it anytime you want. That's always a good thing. That's funny. But yeah, now I don't have to worry about the front. I just keep the back mowed down for a chupa and we're good. Oh man. Speaking of chupa, I think I told you guys that I got that little Kong for her and that it got caught in her tail and stuff. And the Kong has been a lot of fun. It was worth every freaking penny because she plays the fuck out of that Kong. She plays with it every single day. So I'm like tossing it into the hallway, right? From my couch in the living room. I'm tossing it down the hallway and with my shoulder being all jacked up, it's difficult to rotate enough to get it down the hallway. So I keep like hitting the outer wall or I hit like the counter with shit on it and it falls off and I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, damn it. So I was like moving my shoulder in the throwing motion to try to, loosen it up, get it a little bit because it's pinching and stuff. So I'm making that throwing motion in my arm. Well, Chupa thinks I'm throwing something every time. So she goes barreling down the hall and she's still got the fucking Kong in her mouth. I'm like, what could I possibly have thrown? You just got the Kong and came back. You see, there's nothing in my hand. So every time I'd loop around, she'd run to the hallway and she'd come back. She'd run to the hallway and come back. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "Man, it's in your mouth. I'm not throwing anything else." It's just funny. Sometimes your pet can be so smart, and then sometimes you're like, "How could you be so fucking stupid and be so smart at the same time?" And then I think humans, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, there's that." Shit. I've been trying to take care of my shoulder, so I've been like putting I got this heating shoulder pad thing. Well, not hold. It's a heating pad that goes for your neck and your shoulders, but it only goes up to 150, and they say like 160 is the temperature that you need to like loosen the muscles so it'll relax a little bit more. But it's helping. And I've been putting a TENS on. I don't know if you know what a TENS is. If you've ever been to like a physical therapist or anything, they put these little pads on you and they attach like a little electrodes on the end and they give you little zaps. So your muscles like meh, meh, contract, contract. So what that'll do is like loosen you up and it'll kind of sting at first, but then it feels great. When you're done, it feels good. But I fell asleep the other day with the tens on, and I guess I thought that where it was sitting, I must have pushed it with my hip when I fell asleep to like an hour's worth. Because when I woke up like an hour later, it was just shutting off, and my arms were so fucking sore. That night, I couldn't even lift my arms to go to bed. I couldn't get my shirt off. I was like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" I was so sore, I felt like I was holding a house up. I was like, "Holy shit." It didn't dawn on me that the 10s can make you that sore, but yeah, that's why they tell you, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. But yeah, so I learned a good lesson that you don't fall asleep with the tens on and that you make damn sure you don't really go past 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they tell you, less is better sometimes. Yeah, less is better. When it comes to tens, people, less is better. Okay? Take it from me. Yeah. But it is helping a little bit. I mean, I still have the pinch and I can still feel my right shoulder probably needs surgery, but I think I can save my left. I don't know. Oh man, I just looked down at my tax forms. I bet everybody's looking forward to doing their taxes this year. Yeah, that's going to be fun. We'll see what happens with that. Every year that a Republican is in office, my taxes are boo boo, so I'm not looking forward to this at all. But it is what it is. Oh, I wanted to say I was watching a movie, which is why I'm late doing my podcast. Besides that douchebag that fucking does his lawn work every day at 11 is 2 hours fucking late, and he's doing it now because I started 2 hours late. I thought, oh, I won't have to deal with that guy. I'll be okay. No, he's 2 hours late today. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I decided I wanted to watch this movie I've been seeing advertised. It was with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. And it's called The Wrecking Crew. They've been advertising it, I don't know, maybe the last week. But I mean, the second I saw it, I wanted to see it. I was like, oh, I got to check that out because I like both of them. So it was actually pretty good. It wasn't bad. They're brothers, they're half brothers. They don't get along. One's like a fuck up cop, Momoa, of course. And then the other one's like an uptight military guy. Okay. But they've kind of been estranged. and their father has been estranged from both of them, and their father it opens the scene with their father getting a hit and run. He gets killed. Someone runs him over, and it was 100% intentional. So basically, they find out that he got killed, and neither one of them's like, man, it's an accident. And then Jason Momoa's character, let's see, Batista's wife calls him to tell him that his dad died and that the funeral's going to be whatever, and they'd like him to be there. And as soon as he hangs up, he gets attacked, and he realizes that his dad got killed. It wasn't an accident. So yeah, so that's him going back to the homeland and trying to get his brother on board, and him and his brother just fighting over stupid shit. And I mean, it was a good movie, and of course they team up in the end, and even their wives and their sister are badass. So it is a good movie. It was enjoyable. There was a few slow moments, but there was some funny shit in there too. Momoa had some great lines, man. There's one point where the two brothers are duking it out in front of the fire or the police department, and they're like smashing each other into the cars and shit. Bautista takes, Momoa and just grabs him and kinda flips him over the car and goes with him, but when he does, Momoa's like, "Ah!" It was just hilarious to hear him scream like that. This is funny shit, man. I laughed for a few minutes. I think I rewinded it twice so I could watch it again. It was hilarious. I was like, "No, that's great shit." But yeah, it was a pretty good movie, and it was way deeper. I mean, at first, you see their dad and you're like, "What? Okay," but the more you find out, and then it just starts taking these weird turns. You're like, whoa, did not have that on my bingo card. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I recommend it. It's a pretty good movie. If you like either one of those guys, you'll enjoy the movie. It actually also it gave them an opportunity to show their acting chops. They're both not the best actors in the world, but they actually had some decent range in this. It was pretty good because I mean they had to go from super angry to super happy to super sad to confused. I mean, it was a good range of emotions, and they both did a pretty good job. So I recommend it. What else? What else? I think that's it for the movie. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna recommend it. I sat down yesterday, and as I was going through Amazon, I popped on to what the hell did I pop onto? You know how you'll pop onto something, you'll watch it for a little while, and then you get off it or whatever. Maybe it's not what you wanted to watch, and then next thing you know, there's fucking 15 recommendations of a similar movie. So you just watch it. You're like, God damn. So I can't remember what I watched. Oh, no, I can't remember what it was, but I ended up getting like maybe 10 or 12 different things that I was like, it was like a Puff. How am I not Puff and stuff? HR Puff and stuff. And I watched, let's see, it's season 1, I watched up to, like, episode 5, and I was like, "God, this fucking sucks." But at the time, it was the coolest fucking thing ever, and I'm like, "That kid Timmy is a total fucking dork, and they're singing." I'm like, "Why the fuck did I watch this when they're singing?" Oh my god. Yeah. If I'd have had fast forward back then, I'd be doing the same exact thing I'm doing now, fast forward through the singing. That's what I do when I watch, like, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and all that, I just fast forward through the singing. Yes, that's exactly what I do. It just wasn't quite what I remembered, but, I was a kid when I watched it, so what the fuck do I really remember? I remember Puff and Witchy Poo, she was still awesome. That actress was great. That's one of the best witches, I think, one of the best witches, period, is Witchy Poo. She had that laugh down, boy. She had the Witchy Poo laugh. It's funny. And just how hokey it was. It's just kinda silly. The Sid and Marty Krofft stuff is really, costume puppet, you know, breakfast time kinda shit. But I watched what else did I watch? Oh, I saved, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, is that it? Yeah, I saved that, and then I saved, I think it was Land of the Lost, I saved, there was a ton of them. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to watch all these if I can." And sometimes you're in the mood for something, and sometimes you're not. I wasn't really in the mood to watch that. I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it another time, and I'll probably be totally into it, and there won't be any problem at all." Not at all. But but yeah, that's pretty much all I got. It's been a slow week, and I need to get my taxes done, and I had some visits from work, and I found out a colleague was quitting, and I was a little bummed about that. So it's been kind of a poo-poo week, but it is what it is. It's almost over. We're at hump day, right? Hey, guess what day is it? Guess what day it is? Hump day. Guess what day it is? Oh, that camel. Missed that shit. Nothing like a good commercial to make you think of it fucking 20 years later, right? That's what commercials are all about. We'll have to bring up some of our favorite commercials next week, I think. How about that? And then I'll put a survey at the end. You can tell me if there's a commercial that you had that was your favorite back when you were a kid. Because I remember one. It was I don't know if it's ragu. Might have been ragu. It had like this old Italian man, this chunky Italian man in a wife beater at his table getting ready to eat, and his wife brings out the spaghetti and meatballs and sticks his fork in and eats it, and he says, "It's a spicy meatball." God, that stuck in my head forever. I don't know if any of you remember that, but yeah, that one stuck in my head. There's plenty that stick in my head, so get out your thinking cap and think of ones that you can write down in the poll, because I'm curious if anyone else has any favorite commercials from back then that have stuck with them 40, 50, 60 years later. Some of you aren't even 40, 50, 60 years old, so I'll take whatever's old to you. We'll take that. All right, well, don't forget to adopt, don't shop. Don't forget to punch a Nazi in the fucking face, and stand up for your fellow man. Protect your fellow Americans. Do what you should do. Don't break the law, though. Don't be a dick. Don't be a racist. Don't be a fucking asshole. You can be an asshole, but don't be a fucking asshole, okay? That's just taking it over the top, over the top. All right, well, I will talk to all of you next week, and meh. Meh. Peace out.